So the fourth day of the Best of Super Juniors tournament has just finished, so it has. We've got 4 shows in a row now, so I'm going to try and give you a daily report after each show on what happened. So this was a very good show, 10 more amazing matches from New Japan. I'll just get straight into it and what happened here. So the first opening match was Yo and Clark Connors. Obviously Clark Connors is in Bullet Club now. And yeah, this was a sort of another sort of hard-hitting match, but obviously you've got Gedo shouting a lot at the side of the ring. And yeah, so after the a good back and forth of this match, it was Yo that came out on top of this match with a surprise roll-up, which I must admit I had Clark Connors down for a victory here, but Yo is obviously showing his resilience. So we had the next match then, and after that we had from Mexico Titan again, who's been on a good form so far, taking on Takuji, who's, as I've said before, who's a bit of a Best of the Super Juniors veteran, And again, with Takuji this year, he's taken this a bit more seriously. We haven't seen any sort of funny gimmicks from him, but he's been taking this quite seriously, and he was a former winner in 2012. Titan, I think, has been very impressive so far in this tournament, and it was him that picked up the win with a submission in this match again, which I felt was like a good decision. I think Titan is going to go far, hopefully, in this tournament. So after that match, then we had a match I was kind of looking forward to, with Robbie Eagles taking on Bushi. Now Bushi's not had he has not had the best of tournaments so far, which is surprising. I thought they might have given him a bit of a push this year. But with this match, again, it was Robbie Eagles picking up another win, and he was on commentary later on for the last 5 matches of the show, and he's great on commentary, and he won also with a pin as well. So getting into the 4th match then, that I thoroughly quite enjoyed as well, and somebody I've talked before but who's been very impressive is Doki, and he was taking on TJP, who's also had some great match. He had a great match with Speedball Mike Bailey, and they brawled on the ramp quite a bit, and there was some quite heavy suplexes taken on the ramp from both gentlemen, But and also with TJP attacking Doki from the start of the match as well. And this was another good back and forth between them, and again, that crowd is very hot right now for Doki. And it's a good thing I'm not a booker, because I thought they were going to put Doki over, but it was TJP in the end that picked up the win. He did a Mamba Splash, I think I've written down here that it's called, and he picked up the pin for a 1, 2, 3. So we're getting halfway through on the night, and we've got the UK's own Dan Maloney, who I've taken quite an interest in watching him as well, and he's so far a good start, sitting at 2-1 for the matches that he's got so far. But in this match, well, it was Dan Maloney taking on Francesco Akira, 2 United Empire teammates as well. So obviously at the start there was a lot of friendliness between the both of them, and they didn't really in this match kick into any sort of like hatred towards each other. But it was basically a match between Akira's speed and Dan Maloney's size, because obviously he's for a junior, he's quite a big fella. But he unfortunately though, he couldn't get his 3rd win. Dan Maloney. Francesco Akira picked up the win with a small. It was a bit of a surprise, but he picked up with the pin as well. Now we're going to get to one of the matches I was generally looking forward to for this show as well, and generally most of his matches. But we had the man Speedball Mike Bailey, who has done no wrong and won his opening 3 matches, and even had a win against Takahashi, and he was taking on Kushida. It was a bit of a holy shit moment for a match, I think. Getting to see these two in a ring together, and obviously Kushida desperate for a win, absolutely desperate for a win. He's had 3 defeats in a row, and he came out in different wrestling gears, more traditional sort of wrestling gear, and these two just had a great grappling match on the mat as well. They were working each other, and then Kushida starts working over the leg for Speedball Mike Bailey, because we all know how deadly Mike Bailey can be with his kicks. So yeah, he was trying to take that. It was great back and forth between them. As I said, it was a bit of a holy shit match. And then I was surprised, because I generally thought Kushida was going to take a 4th defeat. No, he finally picks up his 1st win of the Best of Super Juniors tournament. So he did, and he finally wins. And it was a submission, so it was. But seeing Mike Bailey tap out was a bit of a surprise, and it was As I said, finally, Bailey's first defeat as well of the tournament. We're going to have to see tomorrow how he bounced back from his first defeat, and then hopefully Kushida can finally carry on some momentum going on to his next match. So after that match, we had it was El Desperado, who's I'm a bit of a fan favorite for, versus Kevin Knight, who's been he's had a fairly decent showing from New Japan Strong in this tournament. And obviously, this match was all about Kevin. Kevin Knight is he's quite a tall fella, so he was trying to take advantage. But Desperado, obviously, he's got miles of experience, especially in this tournament, and he managed to he picked up the win with a. He kept going. Desperado kept going for that submission, but he ended up picking the pin for victory in this match instead. Well, we're going to get to the shenanigans part of the night, obviously, and it was Takahashi taking on Show of the House of Torture, and it's House of Torture, so it was going to be a lot of shenanigans. And this one started out with Show coming out, not in his wrestling gear. He's got a note, and he's with Evil as well, who went on to commentary to basically explain that they had a note from Takahashi saying he couldn't wrestle and that they should just forfeit the match and give the victory to Show. Everybody looking a bit confused. So after Show threatening the announcer and the referee to give him the victory, we hear the time bomb music hit. Takahashi comes out completely taped and tied up. Obviously, he had been kidnapped by the House of Torture early in the night, and they were trying to, make sure he didn't get to the ring. However, he did get to the ring, obviously, and they managed to he managed to get himself untied by the referee, and then obviously more shenanigans from Evil and the Show as well, using chair shots, trying to do things behind the ref's back. It was a full-on, a good comeback from Takahashi, so it was. And let me just get my notes here. And after managing to get rid of the chair and constant disruptions from Evil as well on the apron, they finally managed to get rid of Evil. And then Takahashi hits the time bomb too, then hits his original time bomb move to get the pin and to get the hell out of that ring away from House of Torture. Not a great opening couple nights for Show, and maybe this is just showing him that, no pun intended there, showing him that maybe being with the House of Torture is not all what it's cracked up to be. But anyway, Taka, the champion, he's back on track again, because he's, he was, I think that's 3-1 he's at now, I think. I need to double check that, but he's back on track because he's not had the great start to a tournament either. So we're going to get to the last two matches. And the semi-main event for tonight was I think it was an interesting match indeed. It was Karamaru, who's been from Just 5 Guys, who's had a reasonably good start as well to the tournament, to Master Wato, a new fan favorite and a bit of a fan favorite of mine now as well. So in this match, Karamaru just using his experience, so he is just working the legs and sort of cutting the pace and the speed and power that Wato has with them, And it was a good back and forth, and Wato fighting back as well, using that. He's good at showing that fighting spirit. And a bit of a shock win. Master Wato actually picked up the victory in this, which puts him again, like Takahashi, back on track. And a bit of a stumble for Karamaru, but we'll see what happens tomorrow morning if Karamaru can regain his momentum. And now we get to the main event. And this was one of the matches for the tournament that everybody was kind of looking forward to, and it was Lio Rush taking on Ishimori. And obviously these two have had previous history before, and this was just a straight up game of speed and strength between these two, and just to see you could take the harder hits. And Ishimori started working over the opposite shoulder. You see Leo's got one shoulder taped up. He started working the other shoulder, hoping that maybe for the future tournaments that both shoulders are going to give hassle to Lio Rush. It was another fast-paced match. Again, Lio Rush is one of those guys, great with the crowd, great charisma, shows the fighting spirit, so he does. And yes, it was Lio Rush who ended up picking the victory in this as well. He ended up hitting his Rush Hour move, hitting a big splash from the top rope to pick up the pin. And Lio Rush is now 4-0. He is the only person in both blocks sitting on 8 points and not defeated. So we'll have to see if he can continue that, continue his momentum as well and his undefeated streak. But surely at some point somebody is going to pin or submit Lio Rush, but he could go the whole tournament, he could go the whole block without being defeated. So yeah, that's my daily report. So it is for today's Best of the Super Juniors, day 4 on May 16th, and I'll be hopefully back again tomorrow with another small report on what happened tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a very nice day today.